Howdy. So this is my Monarch service project by me, Jacob Trahan, but technically by my group, of course, but this is the individual portion of the assignment. So next slide. So the project description. Our project was to go and meet at Lick Creek Park to observe different pollinators and insects out there and document and record them. So we all did similar jobs, which was mainly to keep our eyes open for any insects we may see to photo and document. And we actually did all um, walk together and through the park to look together because, for every insect you see, there's probably several that you do miss. So we would always have one person who would be noting what insects we saw and keeping a tally of them. This was just so we knew the exact number that we saw and so that we were prepared um, for whenever we had to go back in and record data. Every time we met together at the park, we would spend around 2 hours or more walking around the trails. Like I said, we all did it together and looking for insects. The dates that we went out there were June 20th, June 26th, July 1st, July 7th, and July 10th. And then these are my group members, and it just explains the task, which, as you can see, all the tasks are the same. So Mark, he would photo and document. James would photo and document. Christine would photo and document. I would photo and document. Michaela would photo document. And Link would photo and document. So like I said, we all did the same task. So whenever it came to describing what we did, we all did the same thing, minus the note taker, and that would change from time to time. And like I said, that's just somebody that was keeping a tally and record. Also, I do want to mention that all the photos that you see on all these slides are ones that we took out there. They are all our own photos and just the different insects that we saw. So project description continue. We would all document and photograph the various insects, as I said earlier, that we saw along the trails. By us having done the same task out there, allowed us to share the work in what felt like a fair and balanced way. Kind of hard for anybody to be upset when we were all doing the same work and all putting in the same work and doing similar things. After we did field research, we would do research for the project over insects, and we found and formatted everything properly. The dates that we met to do like the separate inside research were June 19th, which was the first day before our field research. So on that day, we got everything ready for it and prepared. And then July 2nd and July 11th were days where we researched the insects that we did find and we organized that data to get ready for the previous submission that we did. In each of these dates, we would spend about 4 hours together to make sure that we got everything right and put in the proper time required. We all communicated through GroupMe and texting as well as meeting in person when we put the data together. Since we all shared workloads, everything was evenly distributed and there was no friction among the group during this project. Project planning. So for planning, we mainly would just text and communicate to make sure that when we met that everything was already prepared, everything was ready to go. We would plan and execute our days, and it all went smoothly, due to the willingness of everyone in the group to meet on our set days. So project planning went well just because everybody was willing to put in the work, and that's exactly what we did. So for the project execution, like I said, we mainly just recorded and gathered photos of different insects and pollinators at Lick Creek Park. Due to this, we executed our project very well. There was no need to really pivot. There was a plethora of insects that we saw, and we recorded, and the weather conditions were nice, I guess, for the insects because they were always out, and there were a ton of them, which we will go down here in a second to see exactly how many. So we never had to change what we were doing, and that was very fortunate for us. And we did get very fortunate throughout this entire project with the number of insects that we were able to encounter. So project results and impacts, or not it results and impacts, but just our project in general, further with the execution. We encountered many different insects. We saw in total 274 grasshoppers, 152 moths, 76 butterflies, 96 dragonflies, 34 wasps, 22 bees, 83 stink bugs, 16 hornets, 27 beetles, 375 tree hoppers, and 13 miscellaneous insects that we could not identify. So project results and impacts. So in the short term, I guess the result or impact was we got to see all the insects in live action when we were out there. The middle term impact was going after we would go to the park and researching the insects to learn more about them and what their purpose and role in our society is, and just what they do in general. And then finally, the long term impact was the new appreciation that I at least now have for these insects and the various things that they do in our society. Because I'm not a big insect fan, but this definitely makes me have a further appreciation for them, now knowing their roles and everything. So for future projects, at least for myself, I don't really have anything planned once this class ends. Since this is not my major, this will probably be my only and last insect project that I do. So it was fun and it was nice to learn all this stuff. And luckily, I had a good group to work with, so we all got to find many different insects and document them together. But I really have nothing planned for the future. And that was my insect service project. Thank you and gig on.